In today's video, I'm going to be giving you my January update of my Hargreaves, Lansdown and Vanguard investing portfolio. Now this one has been an interesting one for me so far. I've managed to add some money to my portfolio, I've made some money, and I've lost some money as well. So stick around because I'm going to be sharing all of this throughout this video, and we are starting right now. Alright, so as you can see here, we have my stocks and shares portfolio that sits within my Hargreaves Lansdown investing app. And the first thing that we can all see is my total portfolio value. So let's get into that to start off with. And as you can see, we have a total portfolio value of £35,834, which isn't the full amount invested. As you can see, if you take a look down the right hand side a little bit, you can see that I actually have a cash value of £241.15, which is money that I have actually received from dividends this month and last month, which I'll get into in just a second. So what we will do now is actually jump straight into the portfolio and take a look at some of the stocks and how they've got on. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this is I'm actually going to start off with my lowest holding and work my way up to my highest value holding in my portfolio. And as you can see, this start off with Coca-Cola. Now, if we actually take a look into Coca-Cola stock, it's actually been quite a good month for this stock. Now, I think a lot of this is because the market has been so rocky and people tend to flock to these bigger companies in terms of a safety play. Now, if you check out my Trading 212 updates, you'll notice that I hold Walmart stock within those. And one thing that I've noticed recently is whilst all of my growth stocks in that portfolio have been getting crushed, Walmart seems to be the only one that is doing positive, and I think that's the same reason here with Coca-Cola. But just going back to its overall value, as you can see, it's worth now £2,260.44, and it has gone up slightly over the past month, and this is the lowest holding in my entire stocks and shares ISA. Now moving on to the next holding within this portfolio, that is going to be Facebook, or what we should probably call Meta Platforms right now. And whilst this one is one of my lowest holdings in this portfolio, if you checked out my investing strategy for 2022 video, you will already know that this is one that I plan to massively increase throughout the next 12 months. I am very bullish myself on the metaverse. I've just picked up an Oculus Quest 2 and I've been absolutely blown away by its technology on what it can achieve already.
Oh my God.
And that has just convinced me even more that Facebook or Meta is going to be one of the driving platforms with the metaverse over the next 5 to 10 years. So it's going to be one that you will naturally see increase in these portfolio updates throughout this year. But just taking a look at the past month's performance of this company, as you can see, it's been a bit of a yo-yo month. We've had some up days, we've had some down days, but overall we have ended up 2.22% down, which isn't too bad, but like I say, it's not the greatest. Now, moving on up to my third holding, and this is the first of my Vanguard ETFs that I hold within my stocks and shares ISA, and that is my investment into VMID, which is a tracker of the FTSE 250. And just like Meta Platforms, this hasn't really had the best start to 2022 so far. In fact, if we even take a look at the 3-month chart and the 6-month chart, nothing has really happened within this ETF over the past 6 months, but it's not one of those ones that I'm extremely worried about. One thing that I do have to say is that this one pays me an extremely good dividend for the amount that I earn every single quarter, and this is something that I'm really happy with because I'm able to then reinvest that money into buying more shares of this ETF, and I know that over time this one will definitely come good. However, if we zoom out and take a look at the bigger picture, as we can see, things aren't doing too bad. The current value of this ETF sits at £7,222.74, and from April of this year I'm up £401.22, which is the equivalent of 5.88%, which just about beats the inflation rates. So this is where it gets exciting. Moving on to my big two players right now. And first up, we have Apple stock. And whilst this stock currently sits at £9,304.89 and is up 26.9% since April of this year for me, it could have been so much better, because if we take a look at the month chart for Apple, as you can see, the company is down 2% over the past month. And if we were to remove that 2%, my portfolio value would be extremely close, if not over that £10,000 or 5-figure mark, which would have been absolutely amazing for me. However, things have taken a little bit of a drop back in terms of the technology market in 2022. In fact, the entire market has had a little bit of a bad start this year, but we move on from that and we're not going to worry because Apple is a massive company with a massive cash moat and it will outrun any kind of recession that comes in the future simply because of how big they are, especially if they start looking at the metaverse once again. I've heard rumors about an Apple Glass or an eyeglasses. If that happens, that's going to make me even more bullish on this company. And that leads me to my biggest holding in my entire portfolio. This counts my Hargreaves Lansdown and my Trading 212 portfolio, which I will show in a future video. And that is my VUSA ETF from Vanguard funds, which tracks the S&P 500. And as you can see, this is by far my largest holding of £14,412.52. And once again, since April of this year, it has performed absolutely amazing, especially for an ETF. We are currently 13.87% up, and that is once again with a little bit of a pullback. If we take a look at the month chart here, we're down pretty much 0.29%, which whilst you look at it is only 19 pence down. When you have over 200 shares of this stock, this is going to obviously add up to quite a lot. So we are a little bit down on this stock for the month, but there is nothing to worry about with the S&P 500. Of course, they are the largest 500 companies in America. And if they were to completely crash and go all the way to zero, that means all of the biggest companies in America would have shut down, like Apple, Facebook, Google, all of the big banks. And if that happened, I think I'd have a little bit more to worry about than just £36,000 in my investment portfolio. Now, just to touch on the dividends that I've received in the past month, the one that I received just after I filmed my last update was my dividend from Coca-Cola stock. As you can see here, I received £13.52. And because this is a stocks and shares ISA, there is absolutely no tax that I have to pay on that. From there, we had my FTSE 250 VMID dividend payment of £38.60, which was of course very nice. And then similar to that, we had my S&P VUSA dividend payment of £36.07, and we did have a couple of charges for holding a stocks and shares ISA with Hargreaves Lansdown as well, for full transparency. So that completes my Hargreaves Lansdown and Vanguard portfolio update for January 2022. I have my growth stocks update with Trading 212 coming out in just a couple of weeks, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. It's nowhere near as pretty as this one, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.